Billionaires have been hit big time by Donald Trump's new tariffs, instantly erasing, according to one report, $208 billion of their collective wealth inside of just about a day. And that's just from the richest 500 people in America. And wait until you see who's hardest hit. Couldn't happen to a better person. But we're gonna jump down to Elon Musk. He apparently lost $11 billion on Thursday alone as Tesla shares fell 5.5% following Trump's tariff announcements. That 5.5% drop is of course coming off of gradual drops that we've been seeing ever since December. The company has lost more than a third of its value since the beginning of the year. That's what most of his wealth is wrapped up in. So this has been very costly for him. Jeff Bezos, who's sort of like attached his wagon to the Trump train over the past couple of months, he's the next biggest loser on the list. He lost $15.9 billion because Amazon shares plunged 9%. And yeah, so the reciprocal tariffs from China probably won't hit Amazon as much as some businesses. But those tariffs on China are gonna hit him really hard. So it might be difficult for Amazon specifically to bounce back from that and lose 9% like of your entire business in a day. That is an amazing drop. You work for years to produce that value and then it's just gone because his buddy Donald Trump decided it should be. But the top of the list is not Elon Musk, it's not Jeff Bezos. It is in fact Mark Zuckerberg. He's the biggest loser in dollar terms and also in some other terms. He lost 9% off of Meta. That cost him $17.9 billion, or around 9% of all of his wealth. And we can put up the full list here. You can see some of those other names will be familiar to some people. They're big donors, tech billionaires, that sort of thing. But it is a lot of money. Doesn't mean they won't earn it back, Brett, but at least in the short term, it's pretty significant.
So the amount of money that Zuckerberg lost was 17.9 cool. If you watch Social Network, you know what's cool? $1 billion. You know it's not cool? Losing $17.9 billion. I don't feel bad for these guys because by their own definition, their wealth doesn't exist. That's why we can't tax it while they have it. So you didn't lose any money that existed, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah. They'll be fine.
I love that these guys were all, it's funny because like, it would be great if this was something that Trump had planned. If he, like all these Republican and MAGA people, they want him to be this genius who's figured it all out. And it would be genius if he got all those billionaires behind him and then found a way for their wealth to get into the hands of most Americans. But no, Donald Trump's so brilliant. He made their wealth evaporate, fine, don't care. But it didn't make it into the hands of everyday people. In fact, he's just making the stuff that everyday people buy more expensive. And then we would have to incur this pain. There's tons of better ways to do this, but we would have to incur this pain for up to a decade as we repatriate jobs from abroad to America. It's just 10 years of horrible pain with no real plan, and you know there's no real plan.
Yeah, and so look, I agree. I don't feel bad for them. Bet Noir in the YouTube chat was like, "Oh no, he's down to his last 175 billion." Exactly. It doesn't mean anything. Like you can only ride on so many yachts at the same time. I mean, even if you've got like a good ability to split, you put one foot on each, maximum 2 yachts. So again, the money. Don't get me on about the addiction to money, the dragon sickness and all of that, but you're definitely right there. In terms of like whether it's planned or whatever, I mean, if it's planned, I think it's for the short-term turnaround that they can make a bunch of money on, but it would be funny if Donald Trump, like feeling deep in his bones and his flesh, like his pending mortality, just decides, well, if I can't have it, I don't want anyone to have it. And I'm just gonna burn down everything before I transition out of this mortal coil. That seemed, if he was a deep enough thinker, he's selfish enough to do that. I don't think he's actually that deep though, so it's probably not that.
No, but yeah, he's selfish enough because essentially Zuckerberg lost 4 times what Trump is worth. And it doesn't bother Zuckerberg as much as it would bother Trump.
Yeah. Anyway, and even with that, we're not gonna go deep in this, but Zuckerberg apparently still has money to buy more mansions. He bought a $23 million DC mansion because of course he wants to hang out at the White House a bunch to try to manipulate regulations and laws to benefit himself, his class, and his company. And I guess he can't stay in a luxurious hotel. You gotta have that mansion that you'll briefly be in from time to time. God, these people have too much money. Please tax them.